Welcome back to the channel, fam. Welcome back to the channel. This is Brian, the Introverted Marketer, and it ain't hard to tell. It's simple. Now we're gonna be checking out the Drawn Ultimate apps. It's an upsell right here. So the first one we're gonna be checking out is the Hand Drawn Crossword. So create hand drawn style crossword puzzles. You can see here I already have it pulled up. Sorry about that, fam. You can see here I already have it pulled up, and once again, the same user interface is here. Everything is still the same. We just have a different we have different functions that we can use, and you can see here this kind of is using the AI to simulate a hand drawn kind of heart, and it's a crossword puzzle. And you can see here you can customize it, and it gives you kind of the template right here for what you would want to put. Or you can use the AI, which is the feature that I want to actually test out. So we have a heart right here, and you can see you can change the actual density of the heart. And you can see as you change it, it kind of just jumps around some, the words. I think sparse is pretty good. It does give us some examples here. So let's try guitar. So we'll go ahead and generate that, and we'll see how that looks. So here we see we have our guitar right here, and it just says letters right here. So we just do have words. So let's see what happens when we modify the words, the max amount of words. Because when the guitar actually generated, it just generated with one word. So if that happens, you just modify this, and really depending on the shape, you should probably modify the max words, because the AI is kind of just, you can't really pull these here. The AI is just kind of just going to do its own things in terms of placing the words on the actual object. So it's recommended 5 to 12 words. We don't exactly have 10 here, so let's say we'll go with the minimum 5 words, and let's just see how that does right there. So we'll just pause it instead of just keeping you here waiting for it to generate, and we'll see how it works out if it's able to come up with the 6 words. So definitely this feature here is just a little bit buggy right here. You can see we put for max words 6, and it only gave us one word right here, which is letters. So that AI function is a little bit wonky right now, but I have no doubt that they'll work that out. But let's go ahead and stick with kind of what's been our theme. Today is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Let's go with St. Patrick's Day and see how that works. St. Patrick's Day. Let's see if it'll come up with, it says 5 to 12 recommended. So let's just go with 10. And let's put here 4-leaf clover. Let's try that. Perhaps what it was is that we didn't have any theme or words here when we was creating our object with the words. So we're just going to go ahead and retry it. We'll use a 4-leaf clover as the object here, and then we have the theme here for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm wondering, if we select this, is it going to just generate a new page with the theme of St. Patrick's Day? So we'll see how that's going to work out. And you can see the clover definitely has, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have more words here, but let's go ahead and generate words and see how it's gonna look. So stand by, fam. Okay, so we can see here our words actually appeared here, 10 words. So when we do make that adjustment here with the AI, it changes the words here. But we have 10 words. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't seem like it's 10 words. So it's kind of hit or miss. You may need to do some regenerations in order to kind of get it right. So that is also the key there. So you can, here's something I didn't see. So you can allow backwards words. You can also allow diagonal words. So I think that's pretty awesome right there. And the clues. Okay, I think that size is pretty appropriate. Typography, just sticking with Roboto. I think that's pretty great right there. We can go ahead and regenerate. And you can see those regenerations are pretty quick. So it's nothing to just regenerate it, to kind of just get it right, to make sure that it has the appropriate number of words that you put in here. And it'll pop up right over here. So that is the pages feature. Let's go over to the bulk feature. And once again, we're going to go over to AI. And we want to create 10. I'm going to create 10 of these with 10 words per puzzle. And we're going to stick with St. Patrick's Day with this. St. Patrick's Day. And four-leaf clover. So I see here you can only create one shape at a time. It doesn't create like 10 individual shapes, it seems. So we're going to overwrite. We're going to use all these features here. We'll let it do its thing. We're going to allow backwards words and diagonal words to make it really unique, just to see. We'll show the page numbers. Hand Drawn Crossword, St. Patrick's Day. And that should be good enough. We're going to go ahead and generate those pages. We'll pause the video and we'll tap back in once it's complete. Okay, fam. So we see here we have 10 images, 10 puzzles rather. And they all have different, well, they all should have different words kind of relating to St. Patrick's Day. It may be hit or miss. But here's how they look. And that didn't take very long. And of course, if you're unhappy with a certain page, you can always just regenerate it. Go in here, take the words out, fix them, put words that you want, or use the AI to change it up if you wish. So you have complete control and customization. And it brings you back over to do that in the pages mode. So we'll go over to the stories mode and we'll do another story just to see how the hand-drawn crossword kind of puts everything together. I'll generate a random idea, see how it puts all the story together, and then once again, we'll wrap it up. I'll leave everything here in terms of the typography, the layouts, and we'll leave the clues as being made available. We'll hit a random idea, and we'll tap back in once it's complete. All right, fans, so let's go ahead and take a look at what actually was created here in Hand Drawn Crossword. We're in the story function, and here you can see our story idea. A young squirrel discovers an ancient map tucked inside an acorn that leads to a legendary tree made of solid gold. Here's our squirrel right here, Squeaky. Shows everything here. And then it doesn't give you the solution here, but it does give you the hints right here. Same thing here, although this diagonal definitely needs some work. Probably would take that out. But for the most part, I must say it looks fine. It's just a diagonal feature. It looks a little bit wonky. And it doesn't seem like we can regenerate the actual. Can we actually regenerate this? Okay, so you definitely go over to the pages to make sure that you can modify it and you can change out the words and things like that. But it seems like the words here is for everything altogether. You can see it has 115 words, so that's all there. But it does seem like you can actually regenerate the individual page right here in the story. But if we move along, we can see it does have that. Apologize for the barking family. We can see that it does have that hand drawn look and feel. The story is fairly coherent. Some of the images is hit or miss. Wait, actually, it does say that we can regenerate page. Let me see if we could just regenerate this page right here. Okay, so you can regenerate the individual page. So let's actually go ahead and see how that looks. So you can actually go in and regenerate the individual pages as you go over to the pages function, and that will try to remedy some of the issues there with the individual puzzle pages. But this is the story function right here. It's always been my favorite part of the tools that we've been covering in Manaka Royalty. But I think I'm gonna end the video right here, just to summarize everything. It's the hand drawn crossword. You can choose the shapes, the sizes, use the AI, create stories, create everything in bulk. Definitely awesome, great feature. I definitely recommend picking it up for that hand drawn kind of artsy feel. Definitely liking it. I do wish we could kind of make the actual, if we can make this color, change the color, so we can change the color of the font, but can we change the color of the actual image? So that part I do not see here. But overall, definitely recommend checking it out for the hand drawn feel. And the next feature we're going to go ahead and try is the hand drawn maze. So look forward to showing that to you all. But with that being said, I'm going to end the video right here. This is Brian, the introverted marketer, and it ain't hard to tell. It's simple. I'm going to catch you on the next video, family. Peace.